Our state parks are tucked away in some of the most beautiful areas of Louisiana.
It's very hilly. To me, it makes the land more beautiful.
It's a place where you can take a stroll through nature or a more challenging hike through the wooded hills.
And the landscape makes these top-ranked disc golf courses a real challenge.
First time any of us have ever played this course, and it is extremely technical.
Louisiana State Parks put you on sandy beaches where you can swim and fish in the Gulf of Mexico or a beach on Vermilion Bay.
My little boy asked me, let's go to the beach. So this is the closest beach to Lafayette.
And the fishing in places like Caney Lake and Toledo Bend is world class.
Just this past weekend, we had a 9-pounder and a 7-pounder in a tournament.
State.
What'd you catch?
93 sac-a-lait.
South Louisiana State Parks take you into the swamp by paddling a canoe or hiking a trail.
He enjoyed, he was yelling at the alligators.
And the busiest park sits on the shore of Lake Pontchartrain.
We get a lot of alligators. We see otters, turtles, great blue herons.
Along the Tickfall River, long boardwalks take you from forest to swamp to river.
The main thing I hope is that they just get a greater appreciation for nature.
And at this Northeast Louisiana park, you can swim and fish or explore ancient mound sites.
Everybody comes from all over the world to see that.
It's an amazing collection of recreation sites, natural beauty, and wilderness as we explore our state parks in the heart of Louisiana. If you drive to a couple of our northernmost state parks, you'll find yourself in hill country. Lake Claiborne State Park near Homer is popular for its beach and fishing.
It's a great park. It's good, clear water.
Mike Nichols says he and a couple of friends fish Lake Claiborne a few times a year.
When the fishing's good, it's good, but it's like any lake. When it's tough, you know, but it's a very nice lake.
What do you normally catch out here?
Bass.
They stock it on a regular basis, and that keeps plenty of fish in the lake.
There's a large sandy beach with a picnic area nestled in the shade of tall pines.
We decided we wanted to go have fun this summer, and we come out here, and it's beautiful. We love it. We got a spot on the water in our RV, and we brought the boys, and it's fun. It's family.
If you like throwing the Frisbee and you want to try your hand at disc golf, this park has two 18-hole courses that are ranked among the best in the state.
Talking to the disc golfers, they really love the rolling hills. It has different scenery, and they really love the hills going up and down. Gives them great exercise.
Oh! I got 75.
Woo! Nice.
So, Stark one me two. Chad 3, Andy 4. It's the first time any of us have ever played this course, and it is extremely technical. There's a lot of trees everywhere, so you have to have a lot of accuracy to play this course, and there's a lot of hills. It's a lot of fun.
From Lake Claiborne, it's only a 30-mile drive west to Lake D'Arbonne State Park near Farmerville. Here, the hills are crisscrossed with a number of hiking trails that go from kid-sized to hillside.
We're heavily wooded, and people like that because it gives them an opportunity to come here if they live in town, if they live in an urban area, and they can get back to nature.
Park manager Penny Wainwright likes to show off the kids' trail. It's an easy stroll for the young ones that lets them discover models of native animals.
It's the types of animals that we actually have within the park and in North Louisiana.
The longest trail here is a 4-mile loop through the woods around the park, and it's got hills. You'll feel an elevation change of more than 200 feet.
Matt and Shelby Casto enjoy hiking and geocaching.
So when I grew up, I'm from Oklahoma, and I'm from close to the Ozarks. The territory around here basically just feels like the Southern Ozarks to me. It's decent grade when you're climbing up it, so you get a little workout in your calves.
There is a hill that you're going straight up, especially to get, if you're doing any kind of geocaching, to the geocache point, it's like uphill the whole way.
And there's a long fishing pier that gets you beyond the tree line and over the water. It's an easy place to drop a line. And there's another benefit. I discovered that after dark, the pier is also a place where you can get away from the lights and enjoy the night sky, and even watch the Milky Way rise above the water. Nearly 400 miles away, Louisiana's southernmost state park sits at the end of a barrier island on the Gulf of Mexico.
We have a lot of people here who come for camping. We have a lot of regulars in our campground. We have an RV campground with 49 sites, and then we also have 14 tent camping sites on the beach.
Grand Isle State Park has a beachfront that has been battered by Gulf storms and clings to the title of Louisiana's only inhabited barrier island.
Since they put the rocks, it's helped a lot with the erosion, but like for storms and stuff, some of the levees get messed up.
Jorge Blanco of Kenner and his family are frequent visitors.
Well, it's gorgeous. I mean, I love the fishing and especially crabbing here in this area.
You get a bird's eye view of the beach from the top of an observation tower. You can see the remains of Fort Livingston on a neighboring island and walk over the Gulf on a 900-foot-long fishing pier.
I'm pretty sure we're going to catch something today. We're going to eat tonight.
What are you fishing for?
We're looking for trout, some reds, maybe a sheephead or two.
And away from the beach, you find nature trails that take you through the island woods and along a saltwater marsh. It's a place that's alive with songbirds, wading birds, and summer flowers. Further west, you find another southern beach at Zippermort Point State Park.
A half-mile man-made beach that offers water resources and water recreational opportunities for young and old alike.
The beaches here at Zippermort Point face miles and miles of open water of Vermilion Bay, which eventually leads to the Gulf of Mexico.
Most of the beachgoers here come for the day.
My little boy asked me, let's go to the beach. So this is the closest beach to Lafayette.
This is so nice.
Jennifer Grayjack says she came to this beach as a teenager.
I hadn't been back in almost 20 years, and I came back on Wednesday with my son and his best friends and family, and then we decided we needed to come back with our husbands.
And after a day of swimming or fishing, it's a place where a sunset can provide the perfect ending for a relaxing day. Coming up, world-class bass fishing that's close to home as we explore our state parks in the heart of Louisiana. From daybreak to the final hour of daylight, fishermen flock to two of Louisiana's state parks, hoping to hook the big one. At North Toledo Bend State Park, several friends celebrate a good day's catch.
93 Sockeye. And I caught the local name is Gaspagoo. I caught it, by the way.
So who caught the most fish, you?
No, I can't say that. Between the father and son duo, they outfished all of us.
You come here a lot?
2-3 times a year.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So you caught more than this guy?
Oh, yeah. Of course. I think we all did.
Back in the 1960s, the governments of Louisiana and Texas got together and built a dam across the Sabine River. That's the dividing line between the two states. And when they were done in 1969, they had created the largest man-made lake in Louisiana.
And the Toledo Bend Reservoir is the 5th largest man-made lake in the country.
If you calculate from the dam, which is the end, the most southern point, to where it begins, which is Logansport, Louisiana, that's 65 miles long.
This lake hosts major bass fishing tournaments, but also attracts the casual fisherman year-round.
My family will come camp about twice a year, but I'll come down just like from the house and bring the boat, fish, and go home.
So how good is the fishing?
I don't know. If I can go out and catch them, it's got to be pretty good.
You had a good day?
Caught a few.
We have a great lunker bass program, which anything over 10 pounds, you turn it back loose and you'll get a replica of it.
You can almost always spot a fishing boat quietly working the shoreline of some corner of the massive reservoir. You can rent canoes or hike a trail, or just spend a relaxing few days in a cabin nestled in the woods overlooking the lake. This is a great way to cool off on a hot summer day. The splash pad at Jimmy Davis State Park. The beach and campground here are on the shore of Caney Lake, which produces record-sized fish for determined anglers.
When you look at the list of the 20 biggest largemouth bass caught here in Louisiana, 16 of those 20 fish were caught right here at Caney Lake.
Dusty Nomi of Jonesboro is one of those fishermen hoping to catch an even bigger bass.
The record on this lake is almost 16 pounds for a largemouth.
Right.
What's your record?
I've got a 13.27, a 12, and year before last I had 11.97.
Not going to quit till you get the big one,
That's
huh?
right. I've got to get a 15.99. If I get a 15.99, I'll be about done.
This Clearwater Lake was enlarged when it was dammed in the 1980s, and it created an ideal habitat for fish.
Whenever it was formed, they didn't undercut all the trees and all. They just let it grow, so it's just a better environment for them.
Near the shoreline, you see the heavy grass beds that fishermen believe are the secret to their success at Caney Lake.
People come from everywhere to Caney Lake because of the big fish.
Is this the best fishing in Louisiana?
Without a doubt.
Jimmy Davis State Park is also a great place to sit on a dock over Caney Lake, watching the last boat head in for the evening, and then enjoying the colors explode on the horizon as another day comes to an end. Daybreak at Palmetto Island State Park, located near Abbeville in South Louisiana. As sunlight fills the forest and ponds, nature comes alive. This park is located on a patch of high ground surrounded by swamp and the Vermilion River.
Nice little lakes here. There's a bayou that you can go down, and last time we were here we saw quite a few alligators really swimming pretty close to us, and it's pretty exciting to see that.
Here you will share the bayou with alligators and see even more animals along the trails.
This is a state park that really lives up to its name because everywhere you go, you're surrounded by a thick underbrush of palmetto plants.
The palmetto was a crucial material for native people who lived here centuries ago.
I know that they made their huts out of it. They could weave all the leaves into walls and roofs, and they also made baskets out of them.
Palmetto Island has cabins that are tucked away in the woods near the river.
You know, people are quick to go out of state, and it's fun to go out of state and support, but we need to consider supporting our own state and state parks.
This seems like the perfect place for a quiet adventure. As you head east toward the Atchafalaya Basin, Lake Fosse Point State Park has a network of long trails and boardwalks that get you deep inside the soggy forest. Travis Miller and his 6-year-old son are camping in a tent.
He enjoyed, he was yelling at the alligators, and he got to feed one of the raccoons last night.
Many of the activities here focus on the canals, bayous, and lakes.
They come and they rent the kayaks, the canoes, the boats to access to other points of the property, but again, it's only by waterways.
Lake Fosse Point is a popular spot for fishermen, and a 20-minute boat ride will put you in the middle of an ancient cypress tree shoreline. A rare glimpse of what this area may have looked like more than 1,000 years ago. Up next, we get close to New Orleans and Lake Pontchartrain with paddling and hiking that goes on for miles as we explore our state parks in the heart of Louisiana. It should be no surprise that Louisiana's busiest state park is located between its two largest metro areas, New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Fontainebleau State Park near Mandeville is on the shoreline of Lake Pontchartrain. Its sandy beach, fishing pier, and nature walks make it a great getaway.
It's close to the city. It's so accessible.
It's beautiful.
We got some bird life right now, and probably have some alligators over here. And
Fontainebleau's trails take you from thick forests to a long boardwalk over a sprawling salt marsh at the edge of the lake. Here at Fontainebleau, you can also get out on the water in a rented kayak or canoe. And when you do that, you get an entirely different view of the bayous and the landscape.
We get a lot of alligators.
Jeff Bordelon owns Bayou Adventures, which provides canoe and kayak rentals next to the park.
What makes it special is how authentic and raw the paddle is. Everything on our right is part of Fontainebleau State Park, and then everything on our left over here is part of Big Branch National Wildlife Refuge.
Fontainebleau has history that goes back to the early years of New Orleans and another 2,500 years to when this area was home to native people.
They found an impressive amount of pottery. It was 47,000 pottery fragments were found between the two middens.
And as French Creole nobleman Bernard de Marigny was developing land beyond New Orleans' French Quarter, he owned a plantation at Fontainebleau.
Who used this area to make it a sugar plantation. And the sugar mill here, where they used to process the sugar crop.
You can see the ruins of the sugar mill Marigny built nearly 200 years ago. Today, a dozen modern cabins stand above the lake, and more than 200 campsites spread through the woods at Fontainebleau. You will find even more campsites only 20 minutes away at Fairview Riverside State Park. A boardwalk along the Tchefuncte River is a peaceful place to relax or drop a line for fishing. But most people come here to park a camper and get away from it all.
I live 3 miles from here. We travel with 2 dogs. We come here, you might as well be 500 miles away.
And for those campground newbies, state parks have camp posts, like Bart Burgess, who helps take the edge off the first-time experience.
We take care of customers as they come in if they have problems with the electrical, hooking up, any problems like that.
We are a little smaller, but that's why people love it, because they don't have the big, huge crowds. They like the quietness here.
For nature lovers, the Tickfaw State Park at Springfield will take visitors deep into the woods. You follow a raised boardwalk through a pine forest, then a cypress tupelo swamp that gets wetter and wetter the closer you get to the Tickfaw River.
This Tickfaw site first opened with the boardwalks as an eco-park back in 1999. And since then, they've added campsites and cabins.
But Tickfaw remains a place where the focus is on nature. You can view examples of native wildlife inside the park's nature center and check out the local fish in a 1,000-gallon aquarium.
And I try to keep stocked with fish that I'll catch in the park. I have some catfish in there now. I have a lot of different sunfish, or people call bluegill or brim.
These 3 North Shore parks are places where you can swap the congestion and noise of cities and suburbs for the soothing sights and sounds of nature. Coming up next, an ancient mound site that has a nearby place for camping, swimming, fishing, and hiking as we explore our state parks in the heart of Louisiana. The sunsets at this North Louisiana lake are amazing. And the best place to watch is from the back porch of one of the cabins that sit above the water on the shoreline of the Poverty Point Reservoir State Park.
It's beautiful, peaceful. It's just not great fishing this time of year, but just a nice little getaway in a beautiful location.
This man-made lake is known for its fishing, but it also has a beach that attracts families for a day of swimming and grilling.
I forgot my spatula, so I'm using this spoon to do it the best way I can. They like to play in the sand, and sometimes I come out here and go fishing.
I love it. It's small. It's not always crowded. It's not far from home, and it gives my kids a chance to get out and get in some water.
One of the features of this state park is the wildlife. And yes, they really do have black bears here.
The picture was taken in the wooded area right on the north end off of the golf course down there. We see bear down there all the time, and we're starting to see them more and more across the park.
Poverty Point Reservoir State Park and this region are also rich in the history of ancient people who lived here thousands of years ago. This park is only a 15-minute drive from the Poverty Point World Heritage Site, a prehistoric community that was likely Louisiana's first major city.
It's incredible. It's really a significant site for all humanity.
Diana Greenlee is the station archaeologist at the Poverty Point Historic Site.
It's this monumental earthwork site that was built about 3,400 years ago by people who were hunters and gatherers. It's got this complex of mounds and ridges that is just not seen anywhere else.
The mounds were built one basketful of dirt at a time. The largest mound, 72 feet tall, contains 8 million cubic feet of dirt.
That's like 15.5 million 50-pound basket loads of dirt. That's a lot of dirt.
I got special permission to visit the large mound after dark and watch the stars light up the sky. You get a feeling that others had this same view here 3,000 years ago. It's the sky that does special things at the reservoir, especially as the day draws to an end. The sun slips below the horizon. The afterglow gives a final farewell to a relaxing day at this Louisiana State Park. With the heart of Louisiana, I'm Dave McNamara.